go. Welcome to One Mom, Two Bosses YouTube channel. I am Mom, and unfortunately, the boss ladies are not with me today. They went with their grandmother for the weekend. So, you have the opportunity to get to know me. I have a few questions that some of my friends gave to me. So, I'm going to answer a few questions and that'll be all, right? I get this question a lot. My friends didn't ask me this question, but I get this question a lot. Why do I call my daughters the boss ladies? I call them the boss ladies because they are actually bossy. Well, they get it from their mother, but they are really bossy. And that's the reason why they are called boss ladies. I started calling them that actually when they were little kids. Like, well, they're still kids, but when they were younger, like babies to me. I think it was maybe 6 and 3 when I started calling them boss ladies. Yeah. So that's the reason why I call them boss ladies. Okay, the question here is, where were you born? I was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. I still reside in Richmond, Virginia, VA, all day, baby. This is not going to be a long video. It said, how old are you? I do not have a problem with giving my age because I am 47 years young, but I will be 48 years young, May the 29th. Yes, Gemini season is fastly approaching. Don't hate us. Just congratulate us. You get the best of both worlds with Geminis. Duh. The next question is, what is your favorite color? I have three, actually. I know, don't judge me. I have three favorite colors: red, of course, black, and white. Those are my three favorite colors. I like the combination together. And yeah, like red, black, and white. So, yes. The next question is, what is your profession? Again, I have three. Three professions. My first profession, I am a mother. That is a full-time job. That is a career that will not end. That continues to go on and on and on. That is one of my favorite professions. However, I have been in the medical field for over 20 years now. I've been on the paper side. I have an associate's degree in healthcare administration, and I'm actually in the process of enrolling back in school to get my bachelor's degree. So that's profession number two. And the third profession, the one that I love the most, besides the first one, is I am a licensed and an ordained minister, a pastor. I am in the ministry. Yes, I live for God. I work for Him and I do nothing but love Him. That is one of my absolute favorite professions. So I have three professions. The next question is, what is your biggest accomplishment? My biggest accomplishment to this day, I can actually say that 3 years ago, I was 45. I actually closed and purchased my first home. A big accomplishment. I mean, huge. For me, it was, yes, hands down, one of the biggest accomplishments. I have quite a few, but that was one of the biggest accomplishments. If you knew where I came from, you will understand why. So let's move on to the next question. And it's actually two questions that I could tie together. So one question is, what is your biggest regret? And the other question is, if you could do anything over again, what would it be? So I'm going to tie those two together, okay? Because I really don't have regrets. However, if I could do something over again, it would be expressing my feelings a whole lot sooner than I have to this present day. Um, yeah, just being open to people, allowing people to get close to me. That's been a hard thing for me to deal with, even at 47 and a half. I still struggle with that a lot. However, I'm still working on it. So that's one of the things. Had I actually did allow that to happen earlier in life, I probably wouldn't be. To some people, I'm mean. It's cool. Because that's the demeanor. I mean, my demeanor is very strong, and it's okay. For me, it's okay. I've lived with it all this time. However, I don't think I'm not mean. I was just always guarded. I never allow people to get that close to me for any reason, none whatsoever. And someone said to me years ago that I am the queen of I'm okay. I handled everything. I did everything on my own. I've been doing it for a long time on my own. So I really didn't really want help. I needed it, but I didn't want it because I figured I could just do it. So if people knew that I was going through something, they would ask, and I would like, no, I'm okay. Or I got it. I can do it. It's no big deal. I juggled so many different things um, in life all the time. So it became a norm to me to handle it, to do it. So instead of asking for help because of that pride got in the way, now I don't mind asking. I'm very cautious of who I ask and whom I speak with about certain things because I am still a little guarded and I don't have that much trust in people. It's the truth. So if I could do anything over again, and if that could be a regret, is just being a little bit more open to people. And oh, I have to. Next question is, how is your mental? My mental is getting better. Actually, I started therapy a year ago, and that was one of the things that I learned in therapy about if I could do anything and my feelings and all of those different type of things. So that's why I tied those two questions together. But my mental is getting better. I have dealt with childhood trauma, still processing it even as an adult. It takes a minute. It takes a minute. This is something that I've been dealing with for years. I am about to be 48, and yeah, some stuff that I've been dealing with since I was at 8 years old. So being in therapy has definitely helped me with anger issues. I've been diagnosed with having anxiety, severe anxiety, and depression. I mean, childhood trauma and then adult trauma, that stuff weighs heavy on your mental. And I found myself being quick tempered a lot of the times. So that was one of the reasons why I went to therapy, dealing with a lot of deaths constantly. I mean, just back to back to back. I mean, within the same year sometimes. So not catching a break. I was married. I got married at 31. I had my first child at 32. Well, I did get pregnant before my oldest child was born, but that pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. So I didn't have time to actually grieve that or whatever because of the fact that they told me years ago that I would never have children. And because I suffer with endometriosis and I've had ovarian cysts removed, fibroid tumors. They thought they would actually have to give me a complete hysterectomy, but they didn't have to, which was good. So I was okay with not having children. But of course, the first pregnancy, one, it was a shocker after finding out the sex of the baby and everything. And things transpired after that, and it was no more. So yeah, I had to deal with that trauma and that trauma alone. Um, so yeah, it my mental is getting better. It's getting better. I have one of the boss ladies. She was born when I was 31, 32. I'm sorry. I got married at 31. She's the rainbow baby. So she was born when I was 32. My youngest, she was born when I was 35. And, they said 35, having a baby, that's like high risk. So I was already high risk anyway. So that a lot of that played with my mental. And then I was divorced by the time I was 37. So I was divorced. I married to a miscarriage, a pregnancy that went all the way through, and then another pregnancy that went all the way through, and then I get divorced. So yeah, that played with my mental a lot. So that kind of, I spiraled into a state of depression, even with the kids. But I was depressed, but I still functioning because I had children. So I had to do it. So now being in therapy, my mental is getting better. It is definitely getting better. So yeah, two questions left. Oh, okay, I'll say this one for last. So the last question is, well, not the last question. Um, this question says, what is your biggest fear? My biggest fear is actually failing. It's failing the people who need me the most. I normally, I am there for everyone, you know, but it's my biggest fear is failing my children. I do not want to fail. I don't want to be a failure in my kids' eyes. And even if I do fail, I think I have raised them to the point where it'll be like, okay, it's okay. But I think because I'm an overthinker as well, I don't want to fail. Whatever I do, I have to do it. I don't not necessarily say perfect, but I have to do it and I have to do it well. So that's my biggest fear, not failing. I do not want to fail to the two people who need me the most, which are my children. So this last question is, what advice can you give to single parents? Because I am a single parent, um, the advice that I can give is take time for you. I know it's hard and it's okay. However, take the time for you because you cannot be good to anyone if you're operating out of an empty cup. I did that already for you, so you don't have to do that now. But take time for you, love you. And I had to learn that being in therapy. So now I take myself on dates. I go whatever I feel that I want to do, I do it. I do a hey girl check every day. It's scheduled in my phone to just recap the things that are going throughout my day that I may need to take a break from just to breathe. So yeah, I do pulse checks for myself. I take time for myself now that I didn't do. And you can take that time for yourself and not be sad about it. I did that already for you. So you don't have to do that anymore. And the one other thing that I do is I live, I breathe, and I constantly speak Romans 8 and 28. And we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. His purpose is for you not to be empty. That's his purpose. His purpose for you is not to let that well runs dry, not to operate in fight or flight mode all the time. So that's my advice. Take care of you, breathe, and it's going to be okay. Thank you for taking out the time to just watch me, the mom. Thank you. Next time, I will have the boss ladies do their video. But In the meantime, make sure you like, you comment, and you share and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our social media. One mom, two bosses. Until then, next time, bye bye.